I think certainly the beginning of the year, how this roster played without LeBron and where they were. I think 19-7 to start the season, 5-8 since. They haven't had a good win against a team above 500 since December 14th. But I will say this real quick.
Go ahead.
And ESPN, by and large, is the LeBron James network. And one of his biggest supporters is Malika Andrews. And there have been times in the past where people try to bring up Kobe Bryant and she'll get pissed off and cut him off. Like when Matt Barnes tried to bring it up and Malika Andrews, let me come out here and that's Malika Andrews, right?
Malika Andrews just cut off an ESPN reporter mid-sentence for saying something true about the Lakers. The guy started talking about their record before LeBron returned versus after, and she immediately shut him down. No debate, no discussion, just straight up interrupted him. This is the same network that spent an entire segment talking about LeBron's daily routine like he invented drinking water. Here we go again. Before we break this down, genuine question. When's the last time you saw ESPN allow honest criticism of LeBron James without someone interrupting or changing the subject? Drop your thoughts below because this pattern is getting ridiculous.
A gentleman, and I can't remember his name. You all know him. I just can't remember his name. He decided to chime in after Kendrick Perkins, and he began to talk about the Lakers' record prior to LeBron getting there and their record with him. The minute he went into that, Malika Andrews cut him off immediately.
So let's set the stage here. ESPN recently did a segment where they were discussing the Lakers, team chemistry, all that stuff. Kendrick Perkins is talking about how the team needs to be on the same page. Standard analysis, nothing controversial. Then another analyst, whose name escapes me, but you know who he is, decides to chime in with an actual fact. He mentions that the Lakers started the season 19-7 and have gone 5-8 since. He's literally just stating their record. Numbers don't lie, right? Wrong. Because the second he started going down that road, connecting the dots about when LeBron returned and how the team's performance changed, Malika Andrews jumped in and cut him off. Not politely, not waiting for him to finish his thought.
Not on the same page, then they definitely don't have the chemistry off the floor.
I think certainly the beginning of the year, how this roster played without LeBron and where they were. I think 19-7 to start the season, 5-8 since. They haven't had a good win against a team above 500 since December 14th. But I will say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I think the Western Conference standings will keep them in it. Where they are in the top 7, I don't see them sliding out and still figure themselves out. They're not Oklahoma City, and they got things to work on here. And as Brian said, the next 9 games on the road is going to dictate a lot of things here. But I am probably not as down on them as probably maybe most people.
Well, and also they don't have Austin Reeves, and I don't know that solves all of their defensive problems that they're having here, but I do want to see a sample size with Austin back, and we're not going to see him at least until the end of the month.
Just straight up interrupted him and pivoted to talking about Austin Reeves being injured and how we need to wait to see a sample size with him back. Classic deflection. The look on her face while she was doing it was priceless. That "how dare you say that out loud" expression that tells you everything you need to know about ESPN's priorities. They're not there to analyze basketball honestly. They're there to protect the narrative. And the narrative is that LeBron James can do no wrong, even when the actual evidence suggests otherwise. Let's talk about those numbers for a second because they're important. The Lakers were 19-7 to start the season. That's a legitimate winning record, good enough to be competing for a top 4 seed in the West. The team had energy, they were playing defense, then LeBron comes back from whatever he was dealing with, and suddenly they're 5-8. That's not a coincidence, that's a pattern.
Typical stuff that goes down at ESPN. It's like, don't you dare bring that up. Why don't they do a segment on that and ask the real questions? Wait a minute, guys. This team was looking a particular way before this guy got here.
The Lakers are better without LeBron James. Take it or shake it.
Oh, geez. Jay, just can we shake this?
Shake this.
Shake that.
But you can't say that on ESPN, because ESPN is the LeBron James network. They literally did a segment talking about his daily routine like it was breaking news. Iman Shumpert sitting there acting amazed that LeBron drinks water and sleeps. They talked about hyperbaric chambers and what kind of carrots he eats. This is a sports network, not a lifestyle channel. not a LeBron fan club meeting, a sports network that's supposed to analyze games and performance. Instead, they spend their airtime fawning over a 40-year-old player who's leading the league in cherry-picking and fast break points because he's literally standing under the opponent's basket while his team plays defense. But sure, let's talk about his carrots.
ESPN is not a serious network, man. It's not like when you have things like this happen, and the guy is talking about the Lakers record, and she's like, well, you gotta understand. Like, no, let the guy finish his bloody point.
Malika Andrews has been one of the worst offenders when it comes to this LeBron protection racket. Remember when Matt Barnes tried to bring up Kobe Bryant in a discussion, and she got visibly annoyed and shut that down too? There's a clear pattern here. Anytime someone threatens to introduce facts or alternative perspectives that might make LeBron look bad by comparison, she intervenes. It's not journalism. It's PR management disguised as sports coverage. The analyst who got cut off was making a completely valid point. The Lakers' defensive rating was better before LeBron returned. Their pace was different. Their ball movement was cleaner. These are objective, measurable facts. But facts don't matter when you're running a propaganda network. What makes this even more frustrating is that Lakers fans deserve better analysis. They deserve honest discussion about why their team is underperforming. They deserve to hear that maybe, just maybe, having a 40-year-old player who doesn't play defense and dominates the ball might not be the optimal strategy for winning basketball games in 2025. But instead, they get Austin Reeves' injury updates and talk about sample sizes. The Western Conference standings excuse that Malika pivoted to is particularly weak. Yes, the Lakers are still in the playoff picture. Congratulations, they're the 7th seed. That's not the goal. That's not why they have championship aspirations. 7th seed means you're playing in the play-in tournament, which means your season could end before the actual playoffs even start. That's not success. That's mediocrity with a safety net. And the excuse about not having beaten a team above 500 since December 14th? That's not a defense of LeBron's impact. That's an indictment. The Lakers have played multiple teams above .500 since then and lost to all of them. Meanwhile, they're getting demolished by the Blazers, who are essentially running a G League showcase this season. Drew Timme, who nobody even knew was on the Lakers roster, went off for a career-high 21 points. That shouldn't be happening if LeBron is elevating his teammates the way the narrative claims. Let's address the elephant in the room that ESPN refuses to acknowledge. LeBron fans don't actually care about winning. They care about stats. That's it. That's the entire priority structure. LeBron can score 25 points on terrible efficiency, the Lakers can lose by 20, and his fans will flood social media celebrating those 25 points like it's an accomplishment. Did the Lakers win? Irrelevant. Did they play good team basketball? Don't care. Did LeBron get his numbers? That's all that matters. This is why every night you see LeBron's stats posted everywhere regardless of the outcome. He's averaging whatever he's averaging, and his fans treat that like validation. Meanwhile, the Lakers are struggling to stay above 500 and getting blown out by rebuilding teams. But sure, let's focus on the fact that he's still putting up points at age 40. Never mind that those points come with bad defense, ball-stopping offense, and a team that performs better when he's not on the court. The plus-minus numbers tell the real story. LeBron was minus 16 against the Blazers, second worst on the entire Lakers roster. The team's offensive rating, defensive rating, and overall performance metrics all improve when LeBron sits. These are facts that show up in every advanced stat database, but you won't hear about them on ESPN because Malika Andrews will cut you off before you finish the sentence. What's particularly insulting about this whole situation is that ESPN treats their audience like they're stupid. Like viewers won't notice the constant interruptions and deflections. Like we can't look up the Lakers record ourselves and see that the analyst was stating objective facts. They're banking on people being too lazy or too tribalistic to actually check the numbers and instead just accept whatever narrative they're pushing. The Bronny James situation makes all of this even worse. The Lakers have a player on a guaranteed contract who objectively shouldn't be in the NBA right now, taking up a roster spot that could go to someone like Drew Timme, who actually contributes when given the opportunity. But you can't criticize that on ESPN either, because it reflects poorly on LeBron's judgment and his priorities. So instead, we get silence. No hard questions, no accountability, just more segments about his daily routine. JJ Redick is in an impossible situation as Lakers coach. He got the job because LeBron wanted him. Now he's stuck managing a roster where 2 spots are being wasted on LeBron's legacy project, and he can't even make obvious roster decisions without it becoming a story. Drew Timme plays well, and immediately people are asking why he hasn't been getting minutes. The answer is obvious, but nobody at ESPN will say it, because Bronny needs those minutes to justify his contract, even though he's not remotely close to being an NBA-level player yet. The nepotism angle is something ESPN completely ignores. In any other situation, if a star player forced his team to draft his son and guarantee him a contract despite him not being NBA ready, that would be a massive story. There would be debates. Analysts would question whether it's fair to other players. But because it's LeBron, there's radio silence. Or worse, they celebrate it as some heartwarming father-son story while ignoring the basketball implications. When you look at how other networks and analysts cover the Lakers versus how ESPN does it, the difference is stark. Other outlets will actually discuss the team's problems honestly. They'll point out that the defense has been terrible, that LeBron's effort on that end is non-existent, that the roster construction doesn't make sense. ESPN? They're talking about carrots and hyperbaric chambers. The most frustrating part is that this could be a legitimate conversation. The Lakers started the season playing really well with a different identity. Then things changed when LeBron returned, and the results got worse. That's worth discussing. What changed? Why did it change? Is there a way to recapture what was working? Those are the questions a real sports network would explore. Instead, ESPN cuts off anyone who tries to go there and pivots to injury reports and small sample size excuses. Malika Andrews represents everything wrong with modern sports media. She's not a journalist asking tough questions and seeking truth. She's a narrative manager, protecting certain athletes from criticism. When your job is to interrupt people stating facts because those facts might make someone look bad, you're not doing journalism. You're doing public relations. And ESPN is paying her to do exactly that. The irony is that honest analysis would actually help LeBron and the Lakers. If they acknowledged the problems, they could work on solutions. Maybe that means playing LeBron fewer minutes. Maybe it means changing offensive sets to get more ball movement. Maybe it means actually holding him accountable on the defensive end. But you can't fix problems you won't acknowledge exist. And ESPN won't let anyone acknowledge they exist. The Lakers are going to keep struggling until someone in that organization is willing to have honest conversations about what's working and what isn't. The numbers clearly show they play better basketball without LeBron dominating possessions. That doesn't mean bench him. It means adjust his role. Use him differently. Stop pretending he's the same player he was in 2016 and adapt to what he actually is now. But that conversation can't happen when the biggest sports network in the country is actively suppressing anyone who tries to have it. When ESPN does segments about LeBron's sleep schedule instead of analyzing why his team plays better without him, they're failing their audience. When Malika Andrews cuts off analysts mid-sentence for stating facts about the Lakers' record, she's failing viewers who tune in for honest basketball discussion. This isn't about hating LeBron. It's about wanting actual analysis instead of celebrity worship disguised as sports coverage. The saddest part is that LeBron's legacy is strong enough to withstand honest criticism. He's one of the greatest players ever. A few bad seasons at age 40 don't change that. But pretending those struggles don't exist actually diminishes his legacy because it makes everything feel fake. Like his entire career narrative requires constant protection and management rather than being able to stand on its own merits. ESPN has chosen their lane. They're the LeBron network. Fair analysis and honest criticism aren't part of the program, and Malika Andrews will keep cutting people off whenever they threaten to introduce facts that don't fit the approved narrative. Lakers fans who want real answers about their team will have to look elsewhere, because the biggest sports network in America is too busy asking what kind of carrots LeBron eats to actually do their jobs. Malika Andrews cutting off honest Lakers analysis is exactly what's wrong with ESPN. They'd rather talk about LeBron's carrots that admit the team played better without him. The numbers don't lie, but apparently, honesty doesn't fit the narrative. If you're tired of sports media that treats you like you're stupid, hit that like button and subscribe for actual analysis that doesn't require interrupting people mid-sentence.